Hi everyone, I am Becca and welcome to my channel. If this is your first time here, welcome. I am so glad to have you. And if you've read a first chapter with us before, then welcome back. We are in for a treat because we are going to be reading the first chapter of Millionaires for the Month by Stacy McAnulty. She's also written The Miscalculations of Lightning Girl, which was a very popular novel. I am super excited about this book. It's so fun because I love numbers and I love math. So this book was especially enjoyable for me. Let's start off by reading the synopsis on the inside cover. Felix Rannells and Benji Porter were never supposed to be field trip partners. Felix is a rule follower. Benji is a rule bender. They're not friends, and they don't have anything to talk about until they find a wallet that belongs to tech billionaire Laura Friendly. They're totally going to return it, but not before Benji borrows $20 to buy hot dogs. Because $20 is like a penny to a billionaire, right? But a penny has value. A penny doubled every day for 30 days is $5,368,709.12. So that's exactly how much money Laura Friendly challenges Felix and Benji to spend. They have 30 days. They can't tell anyone. And there are a lot of rules. But if they succeed, they each get $10 million to spend however they want. Challenge accepted. They rent cool cars, go to Disney World, buy pizza and donuts for the whole school, and that's just the beginning. But money can't buy everything or fix every problem. And spending it isn't always as easy or as fun as they thought it would be. As smart as it is entertaining, Millionaires for the Month is a thought-provoking story about friendship, privilege, and the value of a penny. All right, so, oh gosh, can you imagine? What is that number again? Getting $5 million to spend in 30 days. How would you do it? We don't know all the rules yet, though, so you have to read to find out. All right, let's go ahead and dive on into that first chapter. And teachers, if you are reading this with your students, feel free to grab the handout. There's a link in the description. It is free and helps your students follow along with the first chapter. Chapter 1, Tuesday, October 26th. Felix Rannells. The 7th grade teachers of Sterling Middle School did not put any thought into the important task of assigning field trip partners. Their poor decision-making had tethered Felix Rannells to Benji Porter for the entire day. When Felix received his assignment at 6 a.m., he considered faking an illness, something tough to prove, like a toothache. But his mom had already driven off, and the field trip was to the American Museum of Natural History in New York City, a place he'd always wanted to go. So instead, Felix climbed the bus steps and took the inside seat next to Benji. Felix tried to pass the 2 hours by reading, while Benji tried to entertain everyone by offering to do stupid tricks for money. For $1, I'll eat gum from the bottom of the seat. For $0.25, you can draw on my back with a Sharpie. For $10, I'll moon that tractor trailer. Benji wasn't making much. He earned $1 off Aiden, Rosman, and a lot of ews from everyone else. Ideally, Felix should have been paired with someone who respected rules. Like a teacher, or better yet, no partner at all. He liked to be alone, or maybe he was just used to it. Was there really any difference? Benji and Felix knew each other, of course. They were in Miss Chenoweth's homeroom, and they both played basketball, Felix a point guard and Benji a center. Benji's nickname on the court was Barney, not that Felix would ever call him that, because he was the biggest guy out there, and he was always smiling. Benji had wavy brown hair, braces, and zits, and would probably grow a mustache before they were out of middle school. And like the purple dinosaur, Benji was kind of awkward. Hey, buddy, Benji turned to Felix. I'll give you $1 if you call Miss Chenoweth Mommy for the rest of the day. Felix shook his head, regretting again not pretending to be sick when he had the chance. Now it was too late. The bus pulled up in front of the museum, and the students were reminded to stay with their partners at all times. This resulted in Felix spending the morning as an unwilling participant in a 3-hour game of hide and seek, where he was always the seeker. Benji accidentally joined another school's group. He went into the bathroom without permission. He even set off an alarm when he tried to duck behind a woolly mammoth. And approximately every 30 seconds, Mrs. Chenoweth warned Benji, and by association Felix, to behave. By lunch, Felix needed air and a break. Mrs. Chenoweth seemed to read his mind, allowing them all to eat across the street in Central Park. The Central Park, as seen in movies. A chaperone handed out bagged lunches everyone had pre-packed. Felix's contained a peanut butter sandwich and saltine crackers. His mom wouldn't be going to the grocery store again until the end of the month, so they were out of chips and granola bars. He unwrapped the sandwich and ate the larger half in a matter of seconds. But Benji didn't have a bagged lunch in the cooler. I forgot it on the counter. Felix offered him his crackers. Nah, I'm buying a pretzel. Benji pulled a wrinkled dollar from his jeans and headed toward a food cart. You're not supposed to, Felix thought. The permission slip had clearly stated that students were forbidden to make any purchases. Felix glanced back at Miss Chenoweth, who was chatting with the math teacher and not watching Benji's lunch rebellion. Felix sighed and once again followed his partner. How much for a pretzel? Benji asked. $2. The pretzel man pointed to the sign. I'll give you one. It's all I got. Well, then you ain't got a pretzel. The man turned his back like he had another customer, which he didn't. I guess I'll starve. Felix popped the last bite of sandwich into his mouth and was going to toss the plastic wrap when something caught his eye just at the foot of the trash can. A red wallet with interlocking gold C's. Two other kids walked right by it. For a second, he thought about leaving it and letting it be someone else's responsibility. But he picked it up. The leather was soft and smooth and somehow felt important. He glanced around the park. No one appeared to be searching for it. What's that? Benji came up behind him. Someone's wallet. Felix handed it to Benji. If he'd thought about it for even 2 seconds, he'd have realized this was a mistake. Benji immediately unzipped it and pulled out a $20 bill. Score! Now we have lunch money. Felix flinched. I'm witnessing a robbery. And that is the end of chapter 1. A pretty short chapter, but I'm pretty interested. It's really interesting how Felix and Benji have totally opposite personalities. So I'm really curious to see how their relationship develops over the course of the novel. All right, thank you so much for joining me today for this first chapter Friday. If you enjoyed this, I would love for you to please subscribe so that you can be notified every time we have a new first chapter Friday. All right, friends, enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you again soon.